And we are live. Hey guys, what's up? Another episode of our Sunday night streams on StreamYard because social distancing has not quite ceased. So I really did think that we were going to be able to open the studio. It was a wicked big bummer to find out that we couldn't this week. But as it turns out, it's not open anyway. So there's that. Oh, we got somebody from Oklahoma here. Hi, Lisa.
Oklahoma.
That's far away.
Hell yeah.
In the studio. No, it's not open yet.
I think there's a lot of disappointed people in the audience.
I know. I'm sorry.
No,
I will do
no
it.
camera, Kate.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I said that I would, and I will. But I mean, as of right now the building isn't going to be reopened until the 8th, I guess, phase 2 or whatever.
Hopefully it's until the 8th and not longer.
Yeah, I mean, we play it by ear, whatever. Like, I was under the assumption that it was opening this week. Then we had a crew member who actually had to go under quarantine in the interim, which was a bummer. And he had the soundboard with him. And then we found out that it's not even open anyway, so that's kind of a moot point. Is the building still up and not burned down? Yeah, so nobody's burned down the building. That's a good sign. That is. Boston's still standing. Yep, we're still standing. That's what we're going to talk about tonight, too, is all this, because, this controversy is obviously right up our alley. And we did some research on it to kind of get a bigger picture of the whole situation. So I have the video, the full 10-minute video of this guy, essentially, in my opinion, getting murdered. I don't know what you guys want to call it, but we'll play that real quick and then we can talk.
I actually never even seen the whole thing before.
Yeah, it's rough. It's
I
not
watched
easy to
some
watch.
of it and it was just, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's really not easy to watch. I mean, don't blame you. I watched the whole thing though.
Well, we're about to, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look how they going people out here. Got them feet on the ground. Keep crying and screaming.
Please. Well, you got it down, man. Let it breathe, at least, man. I've been trying to help out. So I breathe with this check, man. One of my homies died. I ain't really back on these. I'm about to die this thing. Relax. Man, I can't breathe my face. Just get up. Come on. I can't breathe. Please, the in my dick. I can't breathe shit. Bro, get up, get in the car, man. I will. Get up, get in the car. I can't move. I've been waiting the whole car. Get up, get in the car. Get up, get in the car right. I can't. Gave y'all the opportunity to get in, bro. I told you can't win. My knee. You can't win, man. I'm through. I know you is never. You didn't listen. Just a moment. My stomach hurts. My dick hurts. Everything hurts. Some water or something. Please. I can't breathe. They will kill me, man. Bro, with your feet on his neck, man, you get off the
His nose is bleeding. Like, come on now.
That's wrong right there with his feet on his neck.
Look at his nose.
You got your feet right on his neck. Yeah, you got to the rest. Can I breathe? You just a grown guy. You're a tough guy. You're a tough guy, huh? He's a tough guy. He's not even resisting arrest, bro.
His whole nose is bleeding.
Why with him? Bro, why you just sit there? He ain't doing nothing now. Put him in the car.
How long y'all gotta hold him down?
Why would you do drugs, kids? It ain't about drugs, bro. You understand?
Nah, y'all don't gotta put y'all in. Right.
He is human, bro.
His nose is
But I'm saying, you
bleeding.
can put him in the car. That's a bum ass shit. That's a bum ass shit, bro. That's a some bum ass shit, bro. Y'all know that. You don't gotta sit there with your knee on his neck, bro. Bro, he ain't climb, bro. You circling like in a jiu-jitsu move, bro. You trapping his breathing right there, bro. Like, you don't think that what it is, bro? You don't think nobody understands that shit right there, bro? I train at the academy, bro. That's some bullshit, bro. Right, that's bullshit, bro. That's bullshit, bro. You fucking stopping his breathing right there, bro. He's talking, bro, but you can get him off the ground. You been a bum right now. You can get him off the ground, bro. You can get him off the ground. You been a bum right now. He enjoying that. He enjoying that shit. He enjoying that shit. He a fucking bum, bro. He enjoying that shit right now, bro. You could have fucking put him in the car by now, bro. He's not resisting the reps or nothing. You enjoying it. Look at you. Your body language explains it, you fucking bum.
Bro, the fuck off of him. It's the whites. They love
But no, I already know that, bro. I train with half of these bum ass dudes at the academy, bro. You know that's bogus right now, bro. You know it's bogus. You can't even look at me like a man because you a bum, bro. He's not even resisting arrest right now, bro.
His nose is bleeding.
You fucking stopping his breathing right now, bro. You think that's cool? You think that's cool, though, right? What's your badge number, bro? You think that's cool right now, bro?
You'll call police on another police.
You think that's cool, though, bro? You're a bum, bro. You're a bum for that. You're a bum for that, bro. You getting mad. You just sitting there stopping his breathing right now.
Look at him.
He's about to go out right now, bro.
Look at him.
Bro.
Get on to him now. What is wrong with you? What the fuck? He got made. He got made. He cannot bring that one. Get over here. No, first of all.
Bro, look, you can check on him. He's not responsive right now.
Look at him.
He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive right now, bro. No, bro, look at him. He's not responsive right now, bro. Bro, are you serious? You gonna just let him sit here with that on his neck, bro? Is he breathing right now? Check his pulse. Check his pulse. Check his pulse, Kyle. Check his pulse. Kyle, check his pulse, bro. Bro, check his pulse, bro. You bogus, bro. You bogus. Don't do drugs, bro. What is that? What do you think that is? You call what he doing okay? Get back. You call what he doing okay? You call what you doing? You call what he doing okay, bro?
Yes, I am from Minneapolis.
Okay, bro, you think that's okay? Check his pulse.
Check his right.
Kyle, check his pulse. Check. The man ain't moved yet, bro. The man ain't moved yet, bro.
Minneapolis.
Okay, bro, you're a bum, bro. You're a bum, bro. You're definitely a bum, bro.
Tell me what his pulse is right now.
Check the pulse. Bro, he has not moved not one time, bro.
He's off track right now.
But yeah, bro, go back in the store, bro. You don't understand.
No.
Okay, that's cool. Go back in the store, bro. Go back in the store, bro. He's not fucking moving.
I see that.
Bro,
I'm trying to help y'all out.
Bro, you don't need to help me out, bro. I know your parents. I know everybody that owns the store. You don't need to help me, bro.
I didn't realize how long he wasn't moving for.
I was when I walked up here.
Yeah, I know. Then
Wow.
they did that.
You just get back out here, bro.
I've been watching it the whole time.
You just got back out here, bro. Bro, he doesn't have it, bro. He's not fucking moving.
No, did they fucking kill him, bro?
Bro,
They
bro,
killed him.
what is you, 1087, bro? You're a
Oh
bum,
my
bro.
God.
1087, bro, you're a bum. First thing you want to grab is your mace because you're scared, bro. Scared of fucking minorities, you're fucking bum, bro. Like, bro, 3 minutes, bro. He's not fucking moving. Bro, he's not even fucking moving. Get off of his fucking neck, bro. Get off of his neck. Bro, get that, bro. Are you serious? Bro, are you serious? And you gonna keep your thing on your neck? Yeah, I bet. Bro, I've heard you touch me like that, dude. I swear I saw the fuck out of both of y'all.
I didn't want to call the ambulance.
Bro, he's just gonna let him keep his hand on his neck, bro? You're a bitch, bro. How you gonna let him keep that like that? You gonna let him kill that man in front of you, bro? Huh?
Like what?
Bro, he's not even fucking moving right now, bro. He's not even fucking moving. Bro, bro, you're not gonna help us, bro?
Right. He's black.
Okay, so I can't actually. All in all, total, the officer had his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, right?
Wow.
That is astronomical. And hold on, I do have the
When they're asking to check
I do
his
have the-
pulse, he doesn't even seem to look down and see.
He doesn't seem to care.
He
2
doesn't
minutes,
seem to care at
2
all.
minutes and 53 seconds of that was after
God.
Floyd was so I mean, I don't see any defense to this. I do not see any defense to this whatsoever.
Well,
No.
there is.
Okay, go for it.
Well, that is actually a legitimate restraining move in
Minnesota?
in Minneapolis. In Minneapolis, putting the knee onto the neck or head is a legitimate move used by the police, like it's outlined in their rules that they can do that. So,
Sorry, you go.
So go ahead.
I believe I saw that there were certain circumstances when it's okay to use that, and passively resisting was not one of them.
yeah, they need to, like, the guy needs to either have been aggressive or high, maybe. Like, so I think they can do that if they think he's going to kick off, even if he hasn't kicked off.
What about when he's
no.
cuffed already?
No, hang on. No, yes. The reason why I know that's the case, because I read through the actual ruling, like the rule about
From the
what
manual.
police.
We do have that manual.
So I'm not saying, like, in a way, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not actually saying they were legitimate in doing what they did, but I think they could probably try and argue that the actual placing the knee or the neck itself wasn't a criminal act.
The amount of time it was there, and knowing someone's in distress and not checking on them is definitely
Yeah. Well,
not
I think
part of
that's
that.
I think that's why they've included the manslaughter charge, haven't they? Like, just to kind of cover that, I suppose.
Right. So we do have that criminal complaint, and again, I am. This was a neck restraint to the point where he was unresponsive. 2 minutes and 53 seconds he was unresponsive. They didn't check. The whole kind of outline of this criminal complaint is a little bit concerning as far as I am concerned. Okay. So this gives you a little bit of background on the entire stop. It also, the wording to me is a little bit interesting. We can get into that too. But on May 25th, 2020, someone called 911 and reported that a man bought merchandise from Cup Foods at 3759 Chicago Avenue in Minneapolis, Hennepin City, Minnesota, with a counterfeit $20 bill. So like right there, this is what this step comes from, is suspicion that he used a counterfeit $20 bill. At 8:08 p.m., Minneapolis Police, MPD, officers Thomas Lane and J.A. Queuing, I'm going to butcher that, sorry, arrived with their body-worn cameras activated and running. The officers learned from store personnel that the man who passed the counterfeit $20 bill was parked in a car around the corner from the store on 38th Street. BWC video obtained by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension shows that the officers approached the car, Lane on the driver's side and Queuing on the passenger side. 3 people were in the car. George Floyd was in the driver's seat. A known adult male was in the passenger seat, and a known adult female was sitting in the back seat. As Officer Lane began speaking with Mr. Floyd, he pulled his gun out and pointed it at Mr. Floyd's open window and directed Mr. Floyd to show his hands. When Mr. Floyd put his hands on the steering wheel, Lane put his gun back in his holster. So like that right there is, I mean, that's ridiculous. I know in our state in Massachusetts, suspicion of passing a counterfeit $20 bill, like a summons would suffice in that case. And they're right off the bat starting this interaction by pulling a gun out on the guy.
It's a bit excessive, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great way to start an interaction. It's just not. While Officer Queuing was speaking with the front seat passenger, Officer Lane ordered Mr. Floyd out of the car. He put his hands on Mr. Floyd and pulled him out of the car. Officer Lane handcuffed Mr. Floyd. Mr. Floyd actively resisted being handcuffed. So at this point, he is resisting. Once handcuffed, Mr. Floyd becomes compliant and walks with Officer Lane to the sidewalk and sat on the ground at Officer Lane's direction. In a conversation that lasted just under 2 minutes, Officer Lane asked Mr. Floyd for his name and identification. Officer Lane asked Mr. Lloyd if he was on anything and explained that he was arresting Mr. Lloyd for passing counterfeit currency. Officers Quing and Lane stood Mr. Floyd up and attempted to walk Mr. Floyd to their squad car at 8:14 p.m. Mr. Floyd stiffened up, fell to the ground, and told the officers that he was claustrophobic. MPD Officer Derek Chauvin, the defendant, and God, these names. Sorry, I'm so white. Then arrived in a separate squad car. The officers made several attempts to get Mr. Floyd in the backseat of Squad 320 from the driver's side. Mr. Floyd did not voluntarily get in the car and struggled with the officers by intentionally falling down, saying that he was not going into the car and refusing to stand still. Mr. Floyd is over 6 feet tall and weighs more than 200 pounds.
I like how they added that in.
Right. I mean, again, there are some details in there that seem to be angled.
Yeah.
The defense. Absolutely.
Yep.
While standing outside the car, Mr. Floyd began saying and repeating that he could not breathe. The defendant went to the passenger side and tried to get Mr. Floyd into the car from that side, and Lane and Coing assisted. The defendant pulled Mr. Floyd out of the passenger side of the squad car at 8:38 p.m., and Mr. Floyd went to the ground face down and still handcuffed. Coing held Mr. Floyd's back and Lane held his legs. The defendant placed his left knee in the area of Mr. Floyd's head and neck. Mr. Floyd said, "I can't breathe," multiple times and repeatedly said, "Mama," and "please" as well. The defendant and the other two officers stayed in their positions. They also didn't mention that at one point he was saying, I don't want to die. You're killing me. Right. So Chauvin was notified that he was in distress at some point. It's not in this report, though. The officer said, "You are talking fine" to Mr. Floyd as he continued to move back and forth. Lane asked, "Should we roll him on his side?" And the defendant said, "No, staying put where we got him." Officer Lane said, "I am worried about excited delirium or whatever." The defendant said, "That's why we have him on his stomach." None of the three officers moved from their positions. BWC video shows Mr. Floyd continuing to move and breathe. At 8:24:24, Mr. Floyd stopped moving. At 8:25:31, the video appears to show Mr. Floyd ceasing to breathe or speak. Lane said, "Want to roll him on his side?" Quing checked Mr. Floyd's right wrist for a pulse and said, "I couldn't find one." None of the officers moved from their positions. At 8:27:24, the defendant removed his knee from Mr. Floyd's neck. An ambulance and emergency medical personnel arrived. The officer placed Mr. Floyd on a gurney and the ambulance left the scene. Mr. Floyd was pronounced dead at Hennepin County Medical Center. So the county medical examiner conducted Mr. Floyd's autopsy on May 26, 2020. The full report of the ME is pending, but the ME has made the following preliminary findings. The autopsy revealed no physical findings that supported diagnosis of traumatic asphyxiation or strangulation. I mean, there's some issue with that, but Mr. Floyd had underlying health conditions, including coronary artery disease and hypertensive heart disease. The combined effect of Mr. Floyd being restrained by police, his underlying health conditions, and any potential intoxicants in his system likely contributed to his death. So, I mean, that is, and of course it says the defendant had his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in total. 2 minutes and 53 seconds of this was after Mr. Floyd was non-responsive. Police are trained that this type of restraint with a subject in a prone position is inherently dangerous.
It also says, right, that the pulse was checked. They couldn't find a pulse, yet they stayed in their positions.
That's fucked up.
That's what it said?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
And
yeah, I think that happens right near the end, doesn't it? So that actually does happen near the end where they check the pulse. I think it's either just as or just before the EMTs turn up.
Yeah, and they just still don't move. They stay there.
No.
It's crazy.
Like somebody said in chat, why didn't the EMTs try to resuscitate him?
Well, they weren't.
Well,
is that what they're trained to do? Do that on the spot on the ground, or would they try and do that in the ambulance?
I mean, generally speaking, if somebody's on the ground unresponsive, they will attempt to resuscitate them. Yeah, unless they're already dead.
Yo, one thing I gotta say, man, is what really pisses me off, and I know that people are not gonna agree with what I'm gonna say, but the people recording that shit are just as fucking retarded. Because they could have actually tried to do something. I understand that they're cops, they're armed, they have fucking shit on them, like freaking, guns and tasers and mace and stuff. But dude, like, do something. This dude is dying. Like, you could have done something. Like, this is thing about people nowadays. They love to fucking record and sit, they like to sit there and record and they don't do shit. They just want to get the fucking views. It's fucking dumb, dude. It angers me. It pisses me the fuck off.
Well,
and honestly, it's taken the officers' attention off the guy because they have to worry about these guys standing there like a mob showing up. So
Yeah.
they're not helping that either.
No, they're not. There's a lot of factors in there, but that's one of the things that really that does piss me off is the fact that they're just recording it, and not doing anything.
That raises a question, though, doesn't it? Which is that, is it ever appropriate for a citizen to carry out a violent action against a police officer when the officer is carrying, in the course of their duties?
I mean, I think also, first of all, they are police officers. We are, inherently programmed to respect that authority. Even these First Amendment auditors, to some point, they don't put their hands on the police for a reason, right? Even if they verbally assault them, they know where the line is, and they have been programmed not to cross that. Also, what are you going to do? They're armed. There's more of them. I don't fault in this situation simply passively filming the situation. In fact, thank God that it was just a random citizen and not a First Amendment auditor. Of course, you won't see a First Amendment auditor generally pick up a situation like this because they're going to the police stations and post office lobbies and places where this isn't going to happen. This happens on the street, obviously. But I am glad that it was a citizen that passively videotaped this as opposed to intervening or trying to get involved, because they could have ruined the footage. And that didn't necessarily need to be seen by everyone. Obviously, we just watched this on a live stream. It's debatable as to whether or not that was necessary, but it did have to at least go to prosecutors and investigators, right? So
it would have been swept under the rug if not recorded by someone, most likely.
Right.
My question is, did the cop know that he was killing him?
They worked together. Like, those two guys worked together, didn't they?
I mean, here's the thing.
No, well, they worked.
It's security. Security. Like,
no, I was asking if you knew that he was killing him.
They worked for the same company, but I don't think the timeline is clear on that, or whether they even knew each other in the same company. So they might not have worked at the same period of time.
Right.
That's not what I was asking.
And if he knew that he was killing him?
Yeah.
I would assume so, considering you can watch in the video when he becomes unresponsive. I can't imagine that you don't feel that.
Could he have been so distracted that he didn't notice because of or do you think it's possible that because people were telling him to stop, he didn't stop just to show that he wasn't wrong?
I brought up the work, and
him getting up would be admitting he was wrong, right?
I consider the fact that he has 17 complaints against him, right?
Oh, yes.
Only one of which came out with any sort of disciplinary action, but 17 complaints, at least 2, actual disciplinary actions against him. It does suggest that perhaps this is an officer that does not see the community that he's serving as particularly human or equal.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
That's what I think. Maybe he was numb to it, and after doing things so long, you don't see people as people anymore. It's just like a thing you're doing, and not necessarily humanizing the people you're working with or arresting.
Yeah,
right.
He sees them as just fucking cattle. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he fucking sees him as he's a fucking piece of shit.
And George is correct. Testimony and the finding of fact will, work this out in a court of law. And I agree. One thing that I noticed about this criminal complaint is it seems kind of hastily thrown together. I mean, they charged him before the full ME's report was out, right? We're going off of preliminary findings. And I also found it interesting in this, police report that it says that preliminary, there's no physical findings that support the diagnosis of traumatic asphyxiation or strangulation, which doesn't really jive with what we see on film, obviously, but I'm not a doctor. But, it also says underlying health conditions and any potential intoxicants in his system likely contributed to his death. There is nothing mentioned in that preliminary finding about intoxicants whatsoever. So they're already, making a point to outline that there are no preliminary findings of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation, but they're also throwing in the possibility of intoxicants in his system without anything to back that up. That to me is concerning,
Wouldn't you think that in that complaint it would say talk screen pending or at least something like that?
Right. Well, I mean,
it doesn't say anything, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't see this guy resisting. Obviously, with the entire interaction kind of outlined, at one point he was resisting. He wasn't resisting particularly violently, and by the time that knee was on his neck, he was already in cuffs. He was on the ground. Yep. So I mean, and I would say that in this case, and obviously we're going to have to talk about the riots because this is the whole goddamn world is burning over this, but they were fired immediately. You don't see that happen that often. Usually police departments will back their own. This has drawn universal condemnation from unions, which you never see happen. So I think that the law enforcement community as a whole responded pretty appropriately to this. I would say that all these riots potentially pushed the prosecutors into a very premature, hastily thrown together case that may or may not stand up to the test of the law.
Usually, I don't think people understand that. Usually, it's not just like something happens and you get arrested. They have to investigate it. And I guess it's easily investigatable with the videos and whatnot, but they have to make sure they have all their ducks in a row to make sure they get the conviction.
Exactly.
Particularly because there is qualified immunity with police. And this does bring up the question as to whether or not that's appropriate. But hopefully they charged low and they'll get something higher down the line in the course of this case unfolding. But I mean, it really is, it's just unfortunate that, that we've got these riots going on and they're pushing into action that the general community does not fully understand.
It's crazy. A lot of my friends are experiencing the riots right now, and they're all scared shitless right now because they don't know if they're going to be victims or whatnot. It's crazy.
And they have been really, just like the purge. It's been like the purge.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like purge day.
I have a friend who lives in Sacramento, and they don't have a car. They have a bike. So they have to ride the bike to work every day, and there's people riding. So think about that. Like it's
crazy to me how there are just police stations getting ran out. Like they're running the police out and burning them and like destroying multiple cop cars, and it's just spreading and continuing to happen.
Yeah, they're just destroying the economy even more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the interest of, showing the entire breadth of information that's out there, because we try to be fair, and this is, probably going to be controversial to certain people that we're even talking about, but I'm going to do it anyway. We have his criminal record up here. So Floyd did have a pretty lengthy criminal history. It was mostly, drug charges and theft, right? So, I mean, in Texas, he did do some time. And he was, I think, last sentenced to 10 months in Texas for an armed robbery where he and some other individuals jumped into somebody's house, broke into their house. He put a handgun to this woman's stomach and demanded any money or drugs in the house. They didn't find any. He stole some jewelry. He ran. He got 10 months in jail for that. So, I mean, do you think that has any bearing?
Like with him dying, or just him
Right.
as a person.
I'd say probably not.
I mean, this entire situation.
Well, no, because this shit's from the past. Like, the past is the past. He did what he did. You know what I mean? It's already done.
How long in
Are
the
we still
past?
violent? Still violent though.
Did the officers know who they were encountering when they were called out there?
All right, hold up,
I
real
mean,
quick.
I don't know.
Real quick, I just gotta say this. Even though he's a violent, like he's a criminal and shit, or whatever, he's had a criminal background, it still doesn't merit the fact that he had to like get killed like that by the freaking police officer, dude. The police officer could have treated him like a human fucking being and still arrested him, in the proper way instead of doing the fucking shit that he did that day. In all honesty.
I mean, yeah. So frankly, I find this to be a non sequitur. I know people are starting to jump on this now. I mean, it's fair to assume that if you have interaction with the police, that you have some sort of interaction with criminal behavior, right? Not always, but it's fair to assume. His last charge was this armed robbery, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to look at the date here. It looks like it was 2000. Let me zoom in here. 2007. Okay, so this is removed from his life at this point, and we don't even know, frankly, if he really passed a counterfeit $20 bill at this point in time. We don't know if he did pass that counterfeit $20 bill. We don't even know if he was aware of that. So, I mean, all in all, he's pretty far removed from this, and it doesn't change the fact that in my opinion, the guy got straight up murdered.
What I want to know is, so if he went in that store and passed the counterfeit bill, and the cops went in the store, how did they know that he was still to go directly across the street to him? How did they know that quickly? How did they know that quickly that whoever gave the $20 counterfeit money was right across the street, and that was him?
I mean, so that's what the store clerk had told him.
Okay.
And to be fair, I mean, his reaction is indicative of some guilt, right? It's definitely indicative of some guilt, because he becomes quite uncooperative quite early on. That being said, the guy in the office, the responding officer, also had a gun in his face and demanded to see his hands, right off the bat, which is just not a great way to start any interaction.
No.
I know Officer Oak is in back here, and he wants to get on. Hold on, who are we gonna put?
I think
You can
put me for now.
All right.
I'm happy to drop down. Yeah, it's fine.
What's that? Okay,
I'm
let me put Shiva back. I'm just gonna put you back. All right, I'm gonna put you backstage, and we can bring you back though. All right, so we'll bring Oak in.
Oh man, I feel bad. Everyone was like willing to sacrifice themselves for me.
You really to sacrifice that, so
I'll do it for him. So,
take me.
What are your thoughts?
Fucking testicle towards their back. I'm sorry.
The testicle. No, I mean, like I've.
All right, thank you.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong all the way around. I mean, like, coming up to the window for some. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of any reason why you'd go up to somebody's window and pull your gun out on them. Like, I guess we'll figure it out. But what it sounds like is the equivalent of like getting pulled over for like a traffic violation, and then like a cop walking up and pulling his gun out on you and saying, "Get out of the car!" Like I don't get it.
Right.
Am I echoing or is somebody else?
I hear an echo.
I hear an echo.
No, I don't hear.
I do too. It started before Oak got here.
He got that.
Somebody has their YouTube on, dude.
So Oak, I am going to borrow your video here though, because Oak put together a nice compilation of some rioters. I don't mean to chuckle. It's terrible what they're doing. It's just such a tremendously counterproductive thing. And we were probably due for another riot. This happened in Ferguson. This happened to the LA riots. You know, this isn't like a new phenomenon. It's just, it never gets any more effective. You know what I mean? It's just a dumb thing to do.
Yeah, it's like they never fucking
All right, so
these people never fucking learn.
Damn it, it was me. I suck.
Yeah, there you go.
I had a secret YouTube. And I have 2 laptops too, but on the wrong laptop I had it on.
Nice intro.
Badass intro.
I like it.
My guy.
Ignore the typewriter that keeps on going.
After the word stop.
World star. Oh shit! She keeps buffering, dude. World star.
Anyways, that was an elderly woman trying to block the exit so people couldn't loot the Target in Minneapolis.
She shouldn't have jumped in the middle of that, dude. Like I don't know, man. I understand her good intentions, but fuck, man.
Yeah, at the end of here. No, I don't think so. Nobody got stabbed. This is ridiculous.
Karen, what'd you say?
I asked if she really had a knife.
Yeah, she had a knife. There's another video of the aftermath of that.
I saw videos of the store owners just crying.
I got watch for tear gas, guys.
Fuck them. See, these aren't protesters. These are criminals.
Yep.
Right.
These people are scumbags.
They're just angry for motherfuckers that want to take advantage of everything.
Well, I think there's 2 groups. There's Antifa, and then there's like just the people who live there that are looting.
This is in Atlanta.
I mean, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
These people are just a bunch of fucking chimpanzees.
Look at these people. Freaking just, it's ridiculous. These people are disgusting.
They're gonna have us trapped in with this corner right here, guys.
For real.
I don't get the people who think this is okay or correct. There, a lot of people think this
That's
is.
right. Now everybody wants to wear their masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God they are following the mask rule.
I guess the Kung Flu is finally gone, apparently to them, you know?
Yeah. Look at these people picking all the stuff up off the ground like, ooh, free stuff.
Yeah, man. Let me get me the flat screen, my guy. Look at this shit. Oh, yeah.
Grabbing all the stuff the leaders drop.
Man.
Someone in the comments doesn't like how you swear so much.
Who, me?
Oh, man.
Anyone.
Who's still there?
Someone I've never seen before. Guy Collins.
Guy Hollins. I think I know who that might be.
The guy.
They trashed it.
My favorite, look, listeners, get me something, get me something.
Do you think if their face is on camera, anyone will like prosecute them later?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's so rampant.
I seen a video where some
There
guy
would
was
be-
recording.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go
What
ahead.
about Kate in the case of the video that was taken down of the people breaking into an ATM?
And the Target?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
they were busting into ATMs that are just like on the road.
I mean, it's like the purge almost, and this has happened a long time ago. Honestly, I'd have to go back and look at some of the outcome of like Ferguson or like the LA riots. I don't think that a lot of people get prosecuted for this.
Mhm.
One
Well,
thing
they were
I do
doing it-
want to show.
Well, they were doing it in the name of
now-
George Floyd, so
Supposedly.
No, George is telling us LA riots had prosecutions after Rodney King. Yes, there will be arrests. I hope so. I hope
That's
so.
like I heard there's like 300 to 500 people arrested in some places.
Good.
good.
Yo,
Where are
guys,
they bringing them? All the stations are destroyed.
yo, guys, let's go riot, man. Let's get some free shit.
There was a video of
Come
some
on,
people
man.
that got shot
I
by
don't
a
wanna
store
do
owner.
Nah, okay, come on. We can get some new sound equipment.
I want to show because I think this makes it worse for me, honestly. This is a video that George Floyd had put out, shortly before, he was killed by police. And I don't think that he would have appreciated what's being done in his name. So
Saw my homegirl from South Carolina lost her son, man. Our young generation is clearly lost, man. Clearly lost, man. Like I don't even know what to say no more, man. Like, you youngsters just going around, just busting guns in crowds, kids getting killed, and it's clearly the generation after us, man, that's so lost, man. Man, I came back to Houston, told me, yeah, Floyd, the truth, man, right there, because he can bust a gun. Man, I knew it was crazy then. I ain't saying this here, man. You know what I'm saying? And condoning, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like half them young them guns go home and they knees shaking at night. But they don't show it to nobody because, they ain't tough dead. Hey, man, come on home, man. One day it's going to be you and God. You going up or you going down. You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, he definitely was not a proponent of this sort of violent crime. Not at all.
Did you see that video?
It's heartbreaking to see that now.
Yeah, it is.
Did you see that video, Kate, of that guy that was saying like the gangs should get together and like go like shoot at police or something? What the heck was that guy's name? Somebody posted it.
It's probably on WorldStar, bro. Just go on WorldStar. You can find it real quick.
No, I posted it in the Discord. Or somebody posted it in the Discord.
I'm gonna backstage myself for a minute. I'm gonna bring on.
Oh shit! If you needed me to go, I could have gone.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, I've been watching the riots and everything, and I've been seeing a lot of like the First Amendment rioters now, like taping them and everything.
Hey,
and I was laughing because Glenn was out doing it, and the cop recognized him and was like, "Hey, Glenn, how's it going? Can't believe you're out here." And immediately one of the rioters was like, "Hey, these cops know you," and like was getting all aggressive against him. And Glenn immediately like kind of like starts backing away, like away from the person.
I would have been like, "Glenn, my buddy, what's up, man? How you been?"
Probably did that on purpose.
and all those cops are like that recognize any of these odders that see them are like excellent, like right away they're like finally some revenge, like it's instant like target practice, like, well, now I see one person I finally get revenge on type thing.
Well, that's what got us in this whole mess.
Right, but like if they're in the middle of the riot and hey, rubber bullets are going out.
We'll put them closer to that direction.
Exactly.
Oh no, I would have been like, "Glenn, you coming to work tomorrow, man? What are you doing out here?"
Exactly. But all these riots, all they're doing is destroying their own communities, which is sad. I mean, and
oh yeah,
what happens when someone in one of these they're going to be upset when their car breaks down, and every AutoZone in O'Reilly's within 30-mile radius is burnt down. How are they going to get some auto parts?
I was reading something that said there are a few stores that never went back to Ferguson after they were destroyed. And so I have a feeling that a lot of these stores aren't going to be back, and they're going to be pretty inconvenienced for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, they why would I want to open my AutoZone back up in the shithole that fucking burned it down?
Why would I want to build my hotel when you might burn it down, or my apartment building that probably would have had some cheap, like they make you have a couple Section 8 apartments and apartment buildings, so someone could have lived there who needed help. They're not going to want to do it again, because why would they?
No.
Not only that, but how am I going to convince my insurance company that they should insure my business after it's been burned in an area that now we can say, has had riots?
And the COVID stay-at-home order really kind of created this whole powder keg to add to it, because now everyone's out. There's that extra energy, and that everyone's finally out, and it's like they finally have this chance to release all this energy and extra angst and anger, and now they have a way to release it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely, it goes without saying, this is not all about George Floyd. And I think it's just even more heartbreaking, though, to hear his own words, that he is like, shortly before he dies, is saying, look, this is the error of my ways. There's a whole generation of presumably young Black men, and this is not the way to do it. And then his life is tragically cut short. And how would people respond with the exact behavior that he himself condemned? That's sad. That's just sad.
I feel like it's just been ever since Trump was elected, and even prior to that, the divide has been getting bigger and bigger. People just are so on either side that family members stop talking. Everyone's beliefs are so strong. And then the COVID thing happened, and everyone's fighting about whether you should wear masks, whether we should listen if the government's this. And I think everything's just been building to a point where any excuse would have made everyone explode. And this just happened to be the cause that made everyone react.
Exactly.
It's cyclic. We see time and time again. You know what I mean? I don't think there's ever been a riot in recent history that we can say definitively it's not about Ferguson. It's not about Rodney King. Maybe that's the catalyst, or what finally lights the fuse. But it was building before that. It's unfortunate, and I do think that we were primed for this at some point. Racial tensions have been growing. People have been stuck inside. There's a general distrust for the government at this point on all levels.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I saw on with Abrams, he was inciting people to. He was inciting people at the Boston Police Department riot area. It was just disgusting.
We made a pact that we weren't going to talk about Abrams.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, because now when Abrams was yelling at the police in Boston, and he goes, quote, "Every time you guys mess up, I have to come out here and film you."
Oh my God.
I punch him in his stupid fat face. First of all, Minneapolis and Boston are quite far apart, sir. The Boston police have nothing to do with what happened with the Minneapolis police. That's just retarded. Second of all, nobody asked Abrams to go out. He's not making any fucking impact. It would be better for society as a whole if he would just stay the fuck home. Nobody's asking you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me mad about these protesters in general. They're sitting there and yelling at the police about something that happened way out of their city, in Providence, Boston, over in Arizona. They're nowhere near Minneapolis. They had nothing to do with it. They don't stand for what happened in Minneapolis. You don't know what the only thing that you know that they're standing for is their security detail that they're paid to do. You know, they're the reason that you can protest, because otherwise the city is not going to allow that permit. How dare you? How dare you? It just really pisses me off to watch that happen.
He said
And
to one of the cops,
people are protesting when the police were fired and they're being, well, one's being charged. Like, so what the hell's the point of the protests? Like, especially the looting and all that shit.
Free shoes.
well, looting isn't a protest. Looting's not protesting. Those are two separate things, I think.
Right.
Josh said to the cop, how do you feel being a murderer? He's like, I didn't kill anyone. Like,
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me though? Like, it's just completely like talk about projection, right? You're projecting something that has nothing to do with you or that police officer on that police officer. And I cannot say enough. Nobody's asking Josh to go out and film anything. He's making absolutely no impact or positive change at all. Stay home. Just fucking stay home.
Just being a cocksucker.
Yep.
Stay in
What
your
he-
mama's house.
Yep.
Yeah, he's trying to make a name for himself, like usual. It's all
Yeah, but I
about
mean-
himself.
Yeah.
Just a douchebag.
What kind of name is that, really? What kind of name is that?
Mhm.
He's a narcissist. That's all. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's absolutely just narcissism. So, on that note, there is one last thing that I wanted to talk about before, we call it a night and all that good stuff, and that is Glenn Serio made a complaint about a police officer, right? In I think it was Everett. Hold on. Let me pull up this thing here now. All right. So he made a complaint. I believe it was about, hold on. That is blurry as shit. I cannot read that. Let me see if I can get a clearer picture before. Hold on. All right. I'm going to have to save that otherwise. So essentially, one of the complaints that Glenn made came back, and it's completely unfounded. And, talk about actual, police misconduct when we're talking about George Floyd, and then we get to Glenn, and he's just so full of shit. Everything the guy says is just absolutely bullshit. So, I mean, it's shocking to no one except for maybe Glenn, but this came back completely unfounded. He is just wasting time. You want to talk about the kind of change or impact these guys are making? However long that internal investigations took to investigate Glenn's bullshit complaint probably could have been used to investigate a more merited one, right? Like, they're just wasting everyone's time and putting like a claw in the system.
So now, when they make complaints like this, if something like what happened with Chauvin, where he has 17 complaints, do all these complaints like show up on these cops' records if something happened?
That's a good question. Oak, do you know the answer to that?
Oak disappeared.
Oh, he disappeared on us. Well, what the hell? That I'm not sure of. I mean, I would assume yes, honestly, that it would show up that at least the complaint is there. I mean, it would hopefully show up that it was unfounded. I don't know, honestly.
My guy.
Because it's easy to see a bunch of complaints and say, oh, that cop got like 5 complaints, but if they're all from Glenn,
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would assume that maybe if it's unfounded that it wouldn't show up. I don't know, honestly. I gotta do some research on that. I will ask.
So what happened with Glenn again?
Glenn made a complaint against an officer in either Everett or Seattle. The picture is really blurry, so I have to actually re-download it so that we can get a better view of it. But it came back completely unfounded. Of course, he's upset about it because he is a cuck. Like,
He's a fucking super cuck, dude. He's a fucking simp.
What does simp mean?
It's basically a dude who's paying for a chick that'll never ever give him any pussy ever. So like all those dudes that pay for girls' OnlyFans are simps.
Ah, I get it.
Those
Hold
girls
on.
be getting the simpy simp bucks from those fucking guys.
Oak's back. I'm gonna
He's back.
I'm gonna
You want me to back out again?
put Joshua backstage for a minute so that maybe Oak can explain to us how it works. Hey, Oak, what's up?
I am back. Okay, so I heard the question. It was I got booted. Well, I didn't get booted. I had to go do something. But I heard the question. It was does it stay on the officer's record? Yes, it does. It stays there for your entire employment, and it never goes away. Even if it's unfounded, it'll be there forever.
Really? That's
Yes.
So all these complaints that, like, say Josh files, and all these other auditors file, they stay on the record?
Yes, but if they're unfounded, then it really doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's just, you know, like oh, somebody made a complaint. I mean, like, you're gonna piss people off and you're doing your duty. I mean, you're gonna get complaints eventually. I mean, I've had complaints. I've had people who've complained and had the NAACP come to court and for whatever, because they thought I was like racist or something. But eventually they realized, oh, this guy's not a racist. This lady's just a nut.
That sounded kind of racist. I'm just kidding. That was
no, she was just a nut.
That's shitty though. I mean, so this, unfortunately, I think I'll put the complaint, the letter saying that's unfounded in our community page at some point, because I just can't get it to not be blurry. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I can't. But case closed. Not that this isn't shocking news or whatever, but it was just completely unfounded. They found that. I mean, I know that in the complaint he stated that the officer put his hand on Glenn's chest and moved him out of the way. When Glenn wouldn't move, they determined that was inappropriate use of force because the officer has the right to actually physically move him from the property that he's being trespassed from, which is like common sense. You know what I mean? He didn't even leave a mark or bruise him. Glenn tried to call that excessive force because Glenn is just a special ray of sunshine. He really is, that fucking asshole. But I mean, just absolutely ridiculous, the sort of shit that he pulls. Absolutely.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So that's Glenn for you. And I think it's funny too that that the officers acting like they're buddy with Glenn in the middle of a riot. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I think more of them should do that.
By the way, that wasn't a fart. That was me removing the microphone from my headset because I was trying to turn it off. Look, listen. See? Be trying to pull that shit
titty
off.
queef, man.
Nah, that's Josh clapping his tits together. Fucking thunderclap with his fucking tits.
Me, Josh. Me shift belly to side.
Me, Josh.
Belly.
Me jump up and down and make claps. Me do rain dance with tits.
They just enraged me with the way he was yelling at the boss.
He smashes beer cans with his titties.
And can we all please remember too that per his pretrial release from that parade arrest, which those charges were not dropped. The case is still open. We looked. He's not even supposed to be in Boston. He's not even supposed to be in Boston. Like, he is supposed to stay out per his pretrial release. So like, what the hell? Like, you're not even supposed to be there, and you're out there just bothering people on some bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. Every time he
knows to get away with it.
I bet he'll be there tonight. I heard there was supposed to be one in Roxbury tonight, is it?
Oh my God.
Oh, it was earlier, like 6.
I think it was at 8:30, or was it 6?
6. It was 6.
Oh, never mind.
Well, I think it started at 6.
Where do all these people find time to protest like this is what I want to know.
They're supposed to go from Nubian Square to
Well, no one's
City
working
Hall.
right now. It's the perfect time.
Honestly, it'd be great to have another group
Except
of
for
people.
you.
Listen, it'd be great to have another group of people with baseball bats and all that other fucking fun shit. Just beat the fuck out of these fucking Antifa members, dude. They need to get a beating and a really good one.
Whoa,
we don't condone violence here.
Well, no. Listen. You guys don't. I do. Listen, no.
If you want beat up people, you're getting arrested just like anybody else, sir.
I mean, I
It's
understand that. No, it's all
And then
good.
you feed them. Then they say, look, this guy just beat us up. There's fascism out in the world. Like, you're giving them what they want. It's the same thing with if you arrest Josh Abrams or tase Glenn. Yes, it'll be funny for the fucking 5 minutes that you have it on film or whatever else. Like, thank God Glenn got tased. But in the long term, it's not worth it because it just emboldens them. It feeds their narrative. Don't do it.
And he'll have something to talk about for another week.
Same thing with Antifa, you know what I mean? And then what do? They plan more violence to combat that violence. And it's a vicious ass cycle. You know, between the far right wing and the far left wing people here, like I always say, they're two sides of the same coin, and they secretly love each other because they could not exist without each other. Just point blank, you know?
Yeah, I guess you're right about that too. I mean, you know, it's just those people piss me off so much that I would love to just, you know, go out there myself and just fucking beat the shit out of a couple of those people.
Throw a little cement milkshake at their head.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be like politically homeless at this point to a certain extent because I am not particularly conservative, nor am I particularly liberal. You know, I'm quite centrist, I guess almost libertarian in some respects. Like there is not a place for people like us anymore. There should be. Any sort of political extremism enrages me because it is completely emotion driven. It's nonsense. It does no good. You know, it's a cancer on society, this political extremism, no matter which way you look at it, right?
I used to consider myself pretty liberal, but now I'm just so sickened by both sides and how both sides are acting that I'm just I don't know. I don't even know.
You're on that political Section 8, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Oh man, so I need political Section 8 because I'm homeless. Politically, somebody help me out.
Oh, is that the Section 8 you're on?
Man, you on that government cheese, yo.
Can I just, that was the most ridiculous rumor that could ever, like, they literally put out my salary, which, like, I'm not like, independently wealthy, but it clearly exceeds any sort of, like, you know, like welfare standards. And then, like, a week later, it's like, she's on welfare. Like, which is it?
To be honest with you, I couldn't care less if you were on welfare or not. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. So it doesn't really
affect
matter to me.
It doesn't affect anyone.
Exactly. So I don't think anybody should really give a shit. It's like, who cares?
I was in the army. I qualified for welfare.
Motherfuckers be smoking dicks out here, man. I swear.
Did you hear that?
You should give Antifa a Dutch oven.
Oh my god, that sounds like the best thing I could fucking do right there. I might as well eat some chili too before I do that.
Oh, I just choked on my water. Oh my god.
Hot dog chili.
Oh yeah, dude, that spicy shit, bro. Let them fucking feel that shit. Let it
Gotta
be a
have
fucking
some Taco Bell.
Oh yeah,
does your gas count?
I mean, no, I don't know. I mean, if it's coming out of your ass, then I guess you know. Man, I'm about to fucking.
What did he say?
Said if it's coming out of your ass, then it's okay.
No, but what did he ask?
Is tear gas okay?
Oh.
Does it count?
I didn't hear him, and from your answer, I thought he said queef. So I was
wait.
Like,
Why are? Hang on, Fawn. Why the fuck are White Castle burgers considered murder burgers? I don't get that. What's the?
Have you ever had one?
Oh fuck yeah! I actually, you know, I've only been to White Castle once because there's none in Massachusetts at all. So like,
I didn't think.
No, there's none in Massachusetts. Like you can go to New York and there's like a few.
White Castle's the shit.
Oh yeah,
they have like little tiny frozen ones at the
market basket.
Market. Yeah.
No, but the thing
Those
is,
are
though,
nothing.
I wanted the fresh ones from the restaurant. They're not. I mean, they're not that different though. But god damn,
They're
still
just a
good.
gross fast food burger.
They're still good though. Man,
welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Oh god, that's fucking bad. No, fucking Sugar, stop hating, because those fucking burgers are bomb as shit. You are a hater. Not playing.
Balance and Haterade.
Haterade, man. Nah, that's why I wanted a fucking freaking White Castle burgers from fucking because I watched Harold and Kumar, and then like the craving just hit me like really hard. Nah, but yo, shout out to my girl Sugar H2O over there, man. Sorry, I'm talking shit. Still love you though.
We love Sugar. Yes, we do.
Oh yeah.
He's smoking dicks.
Man, so I hope we can open the studio.
Oh fuck.
What is next week? What's the date?
Next week is the 6th.
7th?
I mean, no, wait, yeah, 7th. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking
Okay,
about
so-
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to open next week, too. Not that like StreamYard's okay. I'm okay with it, but like
StreamYard's good.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
I think we should still have one StreamYard a week because I think it's kind of fun.
Oh, I like it.
It's Tuesday supposed to be it.
Would you be able to do more than just once a week? Like once every, like, you know, like during the weekdays? Like, would you be able to do like?
I'm busy. I will be honest though. Right now, I am alone in the studio. Like that did happen because I just needed to get out of my house. Really, technically, only supposed to be here for half an hour. I'm alone. I don't think he's gonna give me much of a hard time with it, but I am like I'm here, and it's weird because it's completely empty, like the entire building. We can kind of see that. That's where I am. It's a mess in here too. I've been trying to clean up while I stream. It's messy in there.
Is the pizza still there from last time we were there?
No,
Really?
always throw out.
Wait, is that really what the studio looks like, bro? Hold up, I gotta see this shit.
Well, that was a quick because it's messy in here right now. I'm like, if my house was messy, I wouldn't invite people over. I'm not gonna live stream the whole studio while it's messy. But no, there's just like water bottles and like Sound Guys beer bottles all over the place, and
I've been
You have to
thinking
chop it
like
up.
there was just Domino's there from
oh no,
Walmart.
Are you guys playing dice and shit like some ghetto ass people in the streets?
no.
No, fucking betting. You know how like they do in the streets, you know, throw dice.
No. You know what's so funny is on the table there though. Like you remember when Mitch brought that that roll of toilet paper like right
Yeah.
when like COVID.
Still there?
It's still there.
I thought Sound Guy came and picked it up.
No, he picked up the soundboard. He didn't pick up the toilet paper.
Oh, I thought he took the toilet paper. Damn, that's
Yeah,
that's
we-
fucking gold right there.
I'm gonna leave it here. It's like the official studio toilet paper. In the
fucking
case of
guy.
Armageddon, we'll at least have toilet paper and
Well,
bottles of water.
you should save it so someday you can show your grandchildren.
You gotta
So
do one.
toilet paper.
You gotta do one square per wipe. All right. You gotta
No,
conserve that shit. Yeah, use a square.
half a square. Yeah, no, it's definitely like it's dead in here, and like the sign on the door says they're not going to be open until at least the 8th. So that's kind of a bummer. But
Man, that's some bullshit.
yeah,
That's not too long though. That's
I mean,
like
hey.
what, 2 weeks.
Apparently, the Kung Flu doesn't exist anymore because of the riots. You know, so it's all good. now,
right.
you
That's
know?
true. And
Yeah.
there's not a lot of distancing going on there.
You know, I gotta tell you, I think, in my opinion, I feel like people were just sick and tired of being in their houses all day,
Mm-hmm.
being stuck with their fucking families, and they just wanted an excuse to go out and fucking vent their frustrations, and that's what they're doing now.
I wonder if there's going to be an uptick in cases because of this. That will be interesting to see.
What do you mean cases?
Definitely
Like
will be.
COVID cases.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
that's a
happen.
good question. I would assume so from the way that it spreads.
Yeah.
I don't
If they
know.
get us stuck in our house for another 3 months, I will lose my mind. What?
No, just the whole, you know, losing your mind, being stuck in there.
Breaking down boxes. Sorry. I
I was wondering what you were doing.
I'm just tired of fucking this whole situation, man. Like now at my job, they're cracking down on people coming in and out of the fucking building.
Now?
Yeah. No, well, they were like that before. They wanted us to come in with masks. You know, I mean, of course,
So,
but there's like
you know what's
nobody.
awful? Having to wear masks when you have seasonal allergies. I had to wait in a giant line to go to TJ Maxx. I know I drove to New Hampshire just so I could go to TJ Maxx. Anyway, I have seasonal allergies, so my nose was running. and I couldn't take my mask off, and my nose was just running and like rubbing into my face and dripping into my like whole entire face. It was disgusting.
Yo, is somebody's Discord going off like nonstop? I don't know if it's me or if it's somebody else.
Oh, it's probably me.
That shit is driving me fucking crazy because I'm thinking, who the fuck is messaging me? And then,
So I have two computers open, so it keeps going off twice at once.
yeah, that shit was driving me up the wall. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Hold on, Alexa.
I'm over here like, well, the stream's dying down, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all the stuff for when we do come back here.
Hey, Kate. So, Aston Cheetos says that she'll help you clean the place. She this week, she'll help. She has mad Lysol wipes, yo.
Who said that?
Aston Cheetos. Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley. Oh,
yeah. I say
I was
Aston
like,
Cheetos.
Ashley, Cheetos.
Yeah, she got me stuck with that shit.
Aston Cheetos. That would be nice.
I love that fucking name. I fucking love it.
Be careful. More than one person can come in. I know that I'm technically kind of breaking the rules right now.
Hold on.
But I'm alone, and God knows, like I
don't keep telling everyone where you are and that you're alone.
Yeah, careful. Somebody might try to come over there and cough on you.
Yeah, or kneecap me or something.
Yeah.
I would be like the best assassination target too, because like I would not fight back. I don't have it in me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm very aggressive, but like when it comes down to like physical stuff, like nah, I would just roll over. Like if I were to get into a fight, I would just pretty much ball up and let you hit me. I think, yeah, pretty much. If we're being honest.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give out the address where I'm alone right now. Josh Abrams is probably begging for a ride right now. Like she just admitted she's alone and she can't fight. Let's go.
Jesus. You already snowed.
What's Josh gonna do with Newports being taken out tomorrow?
Let me get a pack of Newports, bitch.
I am upset
You
about
won't be able to get them.
I know. You already can't.
Soon enough, you're gonna be talking like that too. So keep smoking them shits.
I can't now.
They're gone. The menthols are gone. Starting tomorrow.
That is goddamn tyranny, though. You really
I don't get that. Like, it's not fruit. I can see fruity because maybe kids would like fruity stuff, but menthol's not fruity. Menthol's disgusting.
Thank you.
They're doing that to target like the minorities too, because minorities love menthols.
And ratchet bitches such as myself. Like this is I feel like it's a personal attack.
Man, let me get a menthol, son.
I live I don't smoke menthols, but I live near New Hampshire, so I'll have to go run and get you some.
You know what I like to do? So I don't really smoke cigarettes, but like when I vape, right? I buy like a menthol jar, like a jar of like fucking like the menthol fucking vape liquid, and I'll mix a little bit of that with some like maybe like a little watermelon flavor shit or some other stuff, like some fruity stuff. So it'll be like a fruity minty fucking flavor. Usually comes out really pretty nice, you know. I like to mix the fucking the vape juices.
Anyone who vapes would suck a dick. That's what I've heard.
Nah, man, listen. Ain't nothing wrong with sucking another motherfucker's dick.
Oh my god.
In prison, you gotta suck dick to survive. Alright?
That's racist.
Nah, man, it's true. Listen, man, I was in jail for fucking huh?
You're a prison.
Listen, man. Don't be talking shit. But what?
Any last minute thoughts, questions, concerns?
What the fuck is happening? Man, you made me lose my train of thought. God damn it.
Good.
You weren't saying anything.
I was about to say some fucking wild shit.
Right, I was trying to like stop that. If anyone would like to hear High Fixer go off the rails, we always continue this conversation in Discord. Feel free to jump in. We're usually on voice, especially now that I have to drive home. I always turn on voice, and that is where we will continue the conversation, where we take the restraining bolt off of High Fixer for that.
My boy, Mitch over there, moist Mitch. Listen, man, that's the only guy I'm gay for, bro.
Mitch.
Moist for him, bro. Moist for my homie Mitch.
Yeah, we're all moist for Mitch.
He's
Mitch,
in the
my guy.
comments.
My guy, Mitch.
Mhm.
My guy. That's my guy right there. Listen, guys, if you
I
want to hear me
actually
say
wore I my Moist for Mitch T-shirt 2 days ago.
you gotta have like a moist for Mitch meter. Like, that's a fucking tongue twister.
Moist for Mitch meter.
Yeah. Fuck
Maybe
yeah,
here's
dude.
the moistness.
Fucking hell yeah. Dude.
Every time I hate that word so much, it
What?
just kills me a little to say it. Moist.
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 Any white girl doesn't like the word moist. It's a fact.
Are you cheating on me, High Fixer?
Man, I'm cheating on everybody, son.
Is that what this is?
Testicle twins.
We're the
Listen,
testicle twins,
Let's go
bro.
be moist together, my guy. Listen, guys, if you want to hear me say some really deplorable shit, I say it all. I say whatever the fuck I want in the Discord server.
It gets real wild.
In Discord, yep.
Oh yeah,
That
I
is
fucking off the
Listen,
rails.
come with some thick skin.
Yes, please, please. Fucking put on that ointment, bro, because you're gonna need it.
Yeah,
Don't
if
be
you're
drunk when you
Did
show
you
up.
say
Don't.
dick come with your dick skin?
Thick.
thick
Not a thick skin.
Oh,
Thank you.
God
Yes, I am.
damn,
what
get
are
your
we
mind
doing?
out of the gutter.
Fucking crazy.
Are we doing circumcision?
Man, I said bring that lotion because you know you're gonna get butt fucked, my guy. Woo! Yeah, man, I'm gonna take you straight
Yes.
to prison.
This is like, we're going into Discord territory. So on that note,
I'll make you hey, listen, man.
I'm going to end the stream, and you can catch up on Discord. So we're going to continue this conversation in Discord. Have a nice night, guys.
All right. Drop that
Yo,
soap.
take care.
Love y'all.